I like Aquinas in this game. I'm gonna say 34-17. Hopefully Edgewater can prove me wrong, but it's a hard time seeing it. Like, so far, Aquinas seems to have kind of separated themselves from the rest of Florida as the top team.
Right.
And you want to add anything to the game?
No, I'm good.
Okay. And lastly, the 8A finals, Apopka versus Columbus, which I believe is a state championship rematch from 2014. I like Apopka 28-25 in a close one here, but I think you can make a case at this point with the playoff performances of both teams. You can make a case for both these teams being top 10 in Florida, regardless of the result of this game.
Yeah, Columbus has kind of picked it up here in the last little bit. They're in the playoffs. They kind of had a struggle during the season, and then they finally turned it around. And again, this is not the first meeting between these two. These two met in 2014 in the Class 8A state championship. Where Apopka won that 30-23. Apopka's looking for their fourth overall state championship. This is Columbus's fifth trip to the state championship game, but they're looking for their first victory. So this is huge for Columbus to finally, after coming up 2 points short against Mandarin last year, who won their first ever state championship in school history. Can Columbus finally break the drought and finally get one and bring that hardware home to Miami and put a state championship trophy up for the first time ever for that football program? I mean, it's going to be close. Apopka's really good. Apopka's got a good, solid run game. But again, Columbus has got a good run game too with Henry Parrish Jr., who's already rushed for over 2,200 yards and 28 touchdowns this season. So, hey, there's quite a bit of talent. This is probably going to be the best of the 5 state championship games this weekend, just because 8A's always got parity, and Columbus. It's funny. If you look at it, Columbus, when Dr. Phillips lost it, was it 2016? They lost it to Southbridge. Won it in 2017 against 2017 against Atlantic. So it's just time for Columbus. Columbus lost it last year by a couple points, but then this year they beat Apopka. We're going to see Friday night what happens in the 8A state championship game. So I feel like, to be honest with you, I really feel like this game should be Saturday night, not Friday night. But that's the way they officially set the schedule, and this is the way it's going to be.
Oh yeah, this is the best matchup that I see overall. And really, the 8A matchups, those are the matchups I always love seeing, because they're always, in my opinion, the most interesting matchups at the finals, because it's usually two very good teams going at it. There's not really a lopsided matchup in 8A that I can remember.
Right, there's usually not, and that's typically never the case. So, at the end of the day, I want to favor Apopka just a little, but then again, half of me wants to go to Columbus, and Columbus, they finally have picked up the pace here. It's tough, and if I had to go with a decision, I don't know. I mean, can Apopka stop Henry Parrish Jr.? I mean, Columbus can throw the ball, so that's something that Apopka doesn't traditionally do. So, and that's the big thing. So, right this second, I probably would edge towards Columbus winning this game.
Okay. Thanks for joining us on for some high school football talk. We definitely hit a lot of stuff today. Before I let you out, quick pick, Army Navy. Who you like?
Army Navy. Oh, you know what? I had not really much, but I probably would go with Navy in this one.
Okay.
But hey, both are great. So there's that.
For sure. And now we're going to go ahead and hit in some college football. I'm going to tell y'all right now why LSU will not win the national championship this year. For starters, there was two major stats that I was looking at that helped me justify this decision. For one, since 2000, only one player to win the John Unitas Golden Arm Award has led his team to a national title. This year's winner, Joe Burrow from LSU. And the one winner that won it was Deshaun Watson in 2016 for Clemson. And four additional players that won the award since 2000 ended up making it to the finals but lost. So that's 5 appearances in a total of about 18 years. And the 5 that made it were a total of 1-4, with Chris Winkie at Florida State losing to Oklahoma, Matt Leinart at USC losing to Texas in 2005. 2009, Colt McCoy for Texas lost to Alabama. And 2014, Marcus Mariota with Oregon lost to Ohio State. In addition to that, we'll also point out the fact that no number 1 seed in the college football playoff has won a national title. So, if you're Oklahoma, Ohio State, or Clemson, the door is open for you, because I do feel that one of those 3 are the ones that are going to make it. But with the matchups, LSU versus Oklahoma, this will definitely be a good matchup. I'll definitely, hopefully, whenever we hit into the bowl games, maybe next week, I'll make my predictions for these games. Ohio State Clemson is definitely going to be, in my opinion, the best of the 2 matchups. But really, these are both good matchups, regardless. But yeah, we'll see some good. These are 2 very good games versus 2 very strong teams, and I have no problem saying that these are the 4 best teams in college football for this season. And of course, I could realistically, even though I did say I feel LSU is not going to win it, I realistically could see any of these 4 coming out and winning the national title by the end of the playoffs. And as I briefly mentioned before Josh headed out, Army versus Navy, that's the big college football game for this week. I like Navy by 3. But just for some of the viewers that may not be aware of this rivalry, here's a little background. There's been 119 meetings between these schools, so this will be meeting 120. Navy leads the all-time series 60, 52, and 7. The largest victory in the series was 51-0 for Navy in 1973. Longest win streak was for Navy as well, with 14 from 2002 to 2015. And the current win streak, though, is actually Army, who's won 3 straight from 2016 to now. So you had the longest winning streak back-to-back with the current win streak, but with 2 different teams. I like Navy to break the 3-game losing streak to Army in this one. But these are 2 Service Academy teams, and a total respect to both of their programs for sure. But yeah, I'll definitely take Navy to pull out the win in this one. And yeah, we'll see how the results of this game goes. And before we start closing out, we're going to hit a little bit of NFL topics. Jets versus Ravens, the Thursday night game. I got Ravens by 17. Packers Bears, the oldest NFL rivalry. I got Packers by 10. Texans versus Titans. Texans have been pretty much like up and down this year. They got the winner of the Patriots, but they've also lost some games that I don't feel like they shouldn't have lost. Titans seem to be coming on strong a bit the last few weeks. I think the Titans are one of the hottest teams in the AFC. I like the Titans to get a 3-point win here over the Texans and put themselves in a good spot for the AFC South. So yeah, Titans by 3. Rams versus Cowboys. Cowboys are falling apart. Rams by 14. Bills Steelers, the Sunday night game. 2 very strong AFC teams. Both of them are currently in the wild card positions in the AFC. I like Buffalo by 4 over Pittsburgh. And Colts versus Saints, Monday Night Football. Saints are coming off that loss in the Dome to the 49ers. I expect a bounce back. I'll take the Saints by 10 here. And before we close out here, I actually went on ESPN and I picked the remaining games for the rest of the NFL season. And by doing so, I was able to see my projected playoff teams, which I'll make this a weekly thing as the results change. But right now, I got this is how I got the final 12 teams for the AFC and NFC. I got AFC Ravens finishing with the 1 seed, Patriots with a 2 seed, Chiefs with a 3 seed, Texans with a 4 seed, 5 seed the Bills, and 6 seed the Titans. So I guess the notable thing there is I have Pittsburgh falling slightly out of the playoffs. I have them. I believe they were like the 7th seed in my projection. NFC, 49ers are the 1 seed, Packers are the 2 seed, Saints are the 3 seed, the Eagles are the 4 seed. So I have them Eagles beating out the Cowboys, Seahawks are the 5 seed, and the Vikings are the 6 seed. So overall, I guess the notable removals there would have been Cowboys in the NFC and Steelers in the AFC. But thank you everyone for joining us on the 792 Florida Sports Podcast. We'll be back here next week to recap the last 5 state championships, as well as begin talking boys and girls basketball, as we'll have our first rankings next week. We'll also be sure to hit in some bowl game predictions and more NFL games and much more. But yeah, thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a good night. If your team's playing a state championship, best of luck to you. And we'll be sure to talk about the results of it next week.